Okay, so I am now finally ready to get cracking on the final assets for the second map. And I think I will start with working on a few assets for the executive office in the office building. Let me just load up a save game here to show you what I am talking about. I'm talking about this office here. That's pretty sparse at the moment and needs some more expensive looking items, some rocks and a fancier desk and some other furniture. And I think I will actually start with making a fancy looking rock. And I found this rock. I think I found it on cgtextures.com, but it may have been elsewhere. And I used this as my basis, and I've split that rock up into 3 parts, which is a center part and an edge. A corner and an edge. And I have then loaded that into my 15-year-old version of 3D Studio Max, where here's an example of a grass tile. I just apply it to a basic square and then render it in an isometric perspective. And that leaves me with these sprites. This is the center and the corner and the edge. I'll be flipping these sprites in Engine to get the remaining directions. So now I have to take these 3D rendered isometric perspective sprites and shrink them to the proper size, and then find out their placement on the tiles in game. I think this will be an actual ground tile since it will cover the entire tile, and these will be what I call ground decorations since they only cover part of the tile. So I'll have a proper ground tile underneath, and then these will be rendered on top as decorations. So after fiddling around with the corners and the edges of the rock, I now have it working in game. So let me add this rock to the executive office up here. Okay, let's add the center pieces first. And then the corners and the edges. And the cool thing with making all these parts separate is that I can make the rock any size I want. Whoops, I'll fix that. So this is a pretty big rock. Let's add the corners. And fix this part here. So that now looks slightly more like an executive office. It's a start anyway. I'm not sure this is where I want the rock and the size of it, but that's just to demonstrate it. Also, I added a footstep sound effect when you walk over a rock. So let's just place a rock down here quickly. And let's try to walk on it. So this is the sound when you walk on on the marble floor, and then when you walk on the rock it gets a more muted sound. So that now works. The next asset I want to make is a nice looking desk for the executive office. And I found this image via Google image search, and I like the look of this desk. So what I'm going to do now is fire up my trusty old 3D Studio Max, and using this picture as inspiration, I am going to model a desk that looks more or less like this, and then I am going to export some isometric sprites using that 3D model. I have now finished modeling and texturing the fancy executive desk. So this was my reference photo, and this is the finished model. This is the front, and this is the back. So what I will be doing next is adding some stuff on top of the desk, a computer and some papers and folders and in and out box and all that office stuff you expect on a desk. And then I will be exporting those images and resizing them in my image editor, and finally adding it to the game. And here we now have the finished executive desk in the game. And here it is. So I had to stretch it, extend it a bit to make it fill up 3 tiles completely, and I also had to make it a bit lower so that it didn't look ridiculously high when the guy here was sitting at it. But I am fairly pleased with the final result here. So what I am going to do next is finish up the remaining furniture for this office here, and that should be ready for me to show off in the next video. And I expect to have the next video up Monday in 2 weeks. From now on I'll try to make a new development video once every second week on the Monday. So look forward to that, and thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.